imprisonment, claiming his innocence. Currently, I'm the greatest rapper in a sense. But any currency, I'm still guaranteed my wins. This is coming from within, I stuff for real, I don't pretend. When the OG spilling knowledge, bet it's best you soak it in. I'm a focused in, I'm best to keep it neutral, got my own religion. The brainwash got a
Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Matt.
Confluence of the Ohio Allegheny and Monongahela River. 12 of the NFL season, and we've got the final playoff push is upon us. It's week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. They'll be led out by the #1 overall pick in the 2018 draft, the Oklahoma Sooner, Baker Mayfield.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Two touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
check 53 is mine. Let's go.
A first down throw for Mayfield. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. A first carry now for Nick Chubb. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. Mayfield looks to throw, and he's got the hook up to Landry. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the 3rd down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
The Browns send out their punter now. He'll kick it away after a 3 and out on the opening drive of the game. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So here are the Steelers. Now to take over for the first time. And they'll be let out by the guy under center, Charles, their quarterback.
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. A great effort there with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Heading out is the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team, and that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. And a 5-yard gain gets them to the 42. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. And a peek now at the offense for Cleveland.
And they're coming off a good win on the road last week, but they do know that they have a home game next week. So all the focus has to be, can they get a second win on the road and make going home that much sweeter, that's the intention in this ball game.
Now a look at the defensive starters here for the Steelers. They were strong last week, CD, and that went over New England.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, the big difference in the game.
It was impressive. Now the question, can they duplicate it? And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Jarvis Landry, his 6th touchdown of the season, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Extra point splits the uprights, so all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And we are tied at 7. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now the Steelers offense gets ready to get back onto the field. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference. Play there to force the incompletion, and to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
Now, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Jackson. He'll rifle this one deep right side. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Kill, kill, kill. Alert flare, alert flare, flare, flare. Switch, switch. No, no, hard, hard.
Here we go on 4th down with Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Myles Garrett. And, boy, possession here turns over with a football already being in the red zone. So shall we say a bold decision to go for it, and that bold decision does not pay off.
And when you talk about bold, you're saying all caps?
All caps.
Yeah, without a doubt. Maybe they're telling their defense they have a lot of faith in them. I mean, that's how you have to spin it, is that you tell your defense, you know something? We were able to go for it there because you guys are so good. I'm not worried about things.
Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line. He is proving his worth defensively, getting the sack here. That comes after being named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week for his performance in last week's game.
He's stacking games together, isn't he? I mean, you just mentioned what he did the previous week to be named AFC.
And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Browns have taken the lead. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up.
And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Myles Garrett in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
Hey, Sam on. Give me some. Here we go. Save. He's coming. We got double up. 25, check 25. You go tight.
Now Jackson.
That's all right.
Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run. Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down. Completes it to Hardman. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
A running play on 1st down, and it turns into a fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Take 4.
Through 1 quarter, 14-7 our score.
Ready. 10-2 stop. I'm coming after you. Check. Big River.
On 2nd down, Nolan. And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Throwing is Jackson, and almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
58 to Mike, 58 to Mike. Go. Hey, seam 6 on the ball. Get it.
They'll indeed go for it with Jackson.
Watch the slack.
And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position. 1st down, Mayfield. And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it. And it took the ball off course. So after the incomplete. Mayfield now. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. The Browns on 3rd down. They've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Now on 3rd down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete.
But, partner, anytime someone tells me that fundamentals are leaving the game, I'm going to show them this play because they couldn't get to the passer. So what do you have to do? Get your hands up in the passing lane, and they batted it away on a 3rd down attempt.
Let's go. Let's do this.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go.
And that's caught inside the 35. It's a big play there for the Steelers. 41 yards. That's evidence of why you spend a high draft pick on a receiver, isn't it, Charles?
It certainly is. His ability to make plays like that, and we've seen flashes of it from him so far in his rookie season. But also, it opens things up for the rest of the offense because they have to bring their attention to him as well.
And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and turn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Leo! Quick edge! Come. He's coming. Double up. He's coming. Double up. Back. Recon, 132 fighter. Shoot!
Right back to him on first down. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. A great play there. With his 14th touchdown of the year, second of the game. As they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. And it'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
Then they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. A run for Nick Chubb, and he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. On 2nd and 11 now. Mayfield. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
And now Mayfield on the bootleg. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a game. Of 17.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
And he lost the football, and it looks like Steeler football. It is.
That's our ball.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. He'll rifle this one deep right side and nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's 2nd down. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Hey, watch the ship.
Now. On 2nd down now, Nolan. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Set. 60 Pittsburgh.
From the gun, Jackson. He's got his man. That's Hardman. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards. Now Jackson on first down. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep two hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32.
Hey, Echo. Five.
Now Jackson throwing again. This pass going to be caught by Hardman. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. A great effort there. On his way to a monster game, 3 first-half touchdowns, as his guys are able to regain the lead. This is becoming quite the half he's had here.
Remember in our pregame meetings, they talked about wanting to run the football and staying with it? Well, when you're scoring this many touchdowns, there's no reason to go away from it, is there? They are off to a fan.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. There's Baker Mayfield as he and the Browns offense comes back out. You know, normally he's probably pretty happy with his performance at this point. He's played pretty well. Bottom line, they're down on the scoreboard, so I'm guessing he's nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Browns signal for the 2nd of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Mayfield. Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Now the Steelers use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And indeed, that's what they'll do as they run it here. And not much there at all, as he'll get this only up to about the 11. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout, as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. The Browns send out their punter now, as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And the punt goes out of bounds. Where will they put it? They'll put it just inside the 45-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing, because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, and tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
Ready?
Again, Jackson. This is caught inside the 15. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Mecole Hardman in the final seconds of the first half. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. This is fielded a couple yards deep.
Here we go. Here we go.
So we have come to halftime, and what's already a 2. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the third quarter. This will be fielded at the 8. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line.
Let's go.
So here are the Steelers to take over on offense. They are working on that very impressive 9-game win streak, looking to get it to 10 as they've got the lead here, 1st and 10.
Mike 51, and we got to get to the ball, team. We got to get to now. Switch. Shoot.
Jackson on 1st down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I'm going to hit you all.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go to the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. Been an easy day for them.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. Mecole Hardman, the intended target. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10.
Hard. Go.
They run the counter. Nolan, and some room to roam now. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh 1st. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler 1st.
Check 53's Mike. Check 53's Mike. I can't believe they let you play. Hey, Sam off. Check 43. Shift. You're out. Watch twist. Big grip.
From the red zone now, here's Jackson on 1st down. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive.
Mike, 53. Get it. Mike. Check.
This is caught, and he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. An 11-yard touchdown. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here's Nick Chubb as they try to fire up this run game. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll
possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Chubb. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, Mayfield. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Very good return that time. 18 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And an update now from down in Baltimore. And the Ravens have added to their lead. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. Now a throw right side taken in here to start this drive. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there at a 1st down. They'll throw on 1st down with Jackson. That's caught left side by Hardman. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. That goes for a gain of 31. What a game it's been for this duo.
They remind me of a good comedy team. They know how to play off of each other so well. No matter how one riffs, the other's right there to pick them up, and they are shredding them in this ball game.
And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Intended for number 84. Incomplete. Brings up 3rd down and 8 yards to go.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8.
Switch.
From the gun, it's Jackson. And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this 3rd quarter of play. Back now in Pittsburgh. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th.
53's the mic. 53. Check. 53.
Hey, high 7.
They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. He's got it. They get the completion but cannot push forward into the end zone, and that will force a turnover on downs. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult in. And, oh, that is going to be a safety. And the safety there, another mistake, and these mistakes just keep piling up.
How many more can they make? They put themselves in such a massive hole now. Going to be difficult to dig out from under.
Yeah, for sure they can't afford anymore at this point. Now on the return here, we've got an injured player down there. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. They had the double-digit lead at halftime, and they have continued to roll. They're hard to stop right now.
I think what we're seeing is an example of a team that has it figured out in this ball game. And whatever the adjustments are the defense has made, hasn't slowed them, hasn't phased them at all. They either anticipated them or they've been so far ahead that they just can't catch up.
Now it's just a search to add to the lead. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. To throw is Jackson. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
Go!
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Hey, Foxtrot!
Mike 51, Mike 51. Check pass. Mike 51, Mike 51.
Speed dribble.
Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson. They'll let this go for the end zone. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. In for the score as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning, right? Are they worried about that comes into play later?
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Heading out is the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. And they don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Mayfield, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he's got the hook up to Landry. And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down.
A short game that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. This is taken at the 18. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
From midfield now, here's Jackson. On the crossing route, complete. It's Russell. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one goes for 24 yards. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
I got this. Ready.
Jackson from the shotgun.
Check.
Over the middle, complete. That's Russell. And they'll get this down to the 10. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a 1st down again. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided.
Look at me. Go. Shoot.
They'll run here with Mack. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Give him 4 on the carry there at 2nd and goal. So that run gets him about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
Going. She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Check 24. Mike.
Jackson now. And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th. Oh, boy, rubbing a little salt in the wound there, going for 2 up this big.
You know, there's one time when I played, Brandon, and played against a team that was just absolutely pile driving us. And they ended up going for 2 late in the game. And I asked one of the guys, why'd you do that? He said, because we wanted to win by more. That feels like that type of situation.
Wow. That could also result in a melee later, though. Mayfield now looking to throw on 1st down. And an alley to run. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he's in for 6 and a Steeler touchdown. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick 6 makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? He said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or 2.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
And is there bad blood here? I mean, and go for 2 when you're up that much?
If there wasn't before, there is now. When you do that, you've just announced to everyone, you just don't care about the other side at all. All you care about is what you're doing, and they just want to pile up points.
The Browns drive about to get started. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going
forward. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Now Mayfield. He's going to let it fly. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
We got this.
The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point.
Blue draw Corkers.
Let's go. Hey, we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53. Watch the screen. Pass. 53.
Hey, exit.
Check 53. In your face.
Go.
Oh, Jackson's going to throw it. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
On 1st and 10, Mayfield. Looking left side, that's caught by Landry. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. It'll be a gain of 6, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Throwing, Mayfield. It's caught by OBJ. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it. And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone.
Come on, fellas.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Hey. Alert 3. Alert 3. Hey, watch the edge.
And what are the whistles for? A timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
Hey, lock it.
Turn up. Kill. Turn up. Check. Shift. Watch the shift.
Big grip.
And despite the late lead, Jackson to throw. Taking a deep shot here for Hardman. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. The Steelers signal for the 2nd of their timeouts. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Steelers, they get win number 10 on the year as they move to 10-1. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, it's a loss that sets them back in their playoff push as they fall to 6-5. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.